Asia has long been recognised for its role as a global centre of tech innovation and has become an increasingly attractive location for entrepreneurs and investors alike. Jungle VC is one of Southeast Asia's largest independent venture capital firms and has been partnering with entrepreneurs to build the value of their companies, particularly in Southeast Asia and India, for more than 10 years. It has recently raised $600 million to continue its work backing Asia startups. Here to tell us more is Jungle VC Managing Partner, Sandeep Uberoi.
Jungle VC has been around for 10 years. We look at investing in tech companies across Southeast Asia and India. Southeast Asia and India are at a cusp right now. It's booming with tech founders coming through, and the quality of founders are amazing, and we want to be at the forefront of this. As we've been through every vintage, we are now at our fourth vintage. So we focus on three key verticals within this segments of investing. Software comprises majority of it. The other two components are B2B and B2C, and it's really exciting times to be out here and meeting these investors and making investments in the region. There's so many amazing founders coming through the ecosystems these days, and Jungle's a concentrated portfolio, so we don't spray and pray. In every vintage, we have about 18 to 20 companies that we focus on, and then we double down, triple down on these companies. So what we tend to look for, especially with the new fund, is emerging technologies that are coming through, which are more disruptive, which are more helpful as well to the broader ecosystem. So these are the kind of elements that we kind of will focus on and will carry on our focus. The quality of founders that are coming through are coming from the local ecosystems rather than the Googles and Facebooks of the world. These are coming from the Moglics, the Credivos, the Gojeks of the world. So it's very interesting times. People are understanding the local ecosystems further and seeing pain points which they're solving for. So it's really exciting that we get to meet all these amazing founders and our ability to help them grow and scale. And as I mentioned, we look to take companies more global or regional in that nature, and that's our USP. You look at the growing population out here. If you just take a step back and you look at the age of the average person in Southeast Asia, it's 27 years old. It's a very young age. And there's a big income gap that's started closing in. So the middle class has been growing. And, the pandemic in a way has helped, tech cascade at a much faster pace than you would even imagine. So most people today are adopting to tech much faster. A person sitting in Jakarta to a kid sitting in Ho Chi Minh to Manila have the same tendencies. They use a wallet, they game, they buy things online. So that propensity, is something that we want to capture. So if you look at India, it's close to about 1.3 billion people today. And again, it's a very young population. It's one of the fastest growing regions across here, probably as close to China today. From that perspective, adoption has been extremely high from a tech perspective. And what's always been very interesting is, from a local environment, a lot of Indians have traditionally been in the IT space, so that coding comes naturally out there. Adoption now has come to a very high level, and people are creating communities around tech disruption. So that's why you're kind of seeing there's a massive inflow of capital chasing Indian entrepreneurs and Indian tech ecosystems. Also, there's been a bit of a slowdown in China given what's going on with the regulatory side of things. So I think that's helped the cause in India, especially from a capital inflow perspective. So that makes it really exciting for us to kind of see, and especially for software companies where they're starting out of India, the cost points are lower as compared to, say, the US or the West. And I can take these same companies on a product market fit, take them into the US, and they're offering solutions which are as good as any other solution out there. The valuations have been skewed. They've been extremely expensive for a period of time. And I think, there has been some semblance of valuations tapering off. But I would say from a VC landscape, if I'm looking at it, when I do an investment from the new fund, I take a 5 to 6 year horizon view rather than a short-term view. Now, the later stage companies that you would see some sort of compressions happening, call it in the D and H rounds, the later rounds. But most of the companies today, from a balance sheet perspective, are pretty well off. So not many companies are going to be fundraising, particularly in this environment, or they'll be smarter about it. Now, from a valuation standpoint, at Jungle, we've always, worked with our founders to make sure that, we haven't overtly charged on valuations or done anything else. It's always been a fair valuation, and that's why you've seen close to about $4.5 billion chase our portfolio companies from a downstream perspective, from the likes of the biggest PEs to the growth investors in the world. And I think that as long as companies continue to grow in a scalable manner, the revenue run rates are catching up to where they had positioned before. I think it'll be fine even in an environment like this. Disruption works even within the VC space because everyday innovation is happening. You don't think about a lot of things, because if I just said I'm going to focus on consumer, that consumer trend moves away very fast, whether it's a vertical or a horizontal basis. I think what's really exciting is SME digitalization in this region, because you see the number of SMEs that are coming out here. They need options and solving solutions now. A Salesforce or Shopify are great for the Western worlds, but you need to adopt it locally out here, and that's exciting when people go to find solutions for these. So I think that's very interesting. Web3 is very interesting as well, but I think it still has a bit of legs to grow from an infrastructure perspective and a regulatory perspective. But that's something that we're eyeing very closely as well. I do personally like the EV space as well. So like we did a company called Dat Bike in Vietnam. Super exciting, where a founder has built a bike to help the ecosystem. And I clearly see with the emerging trends of climate and everything else, EV is going to have a big push. I think Tesla's done a phenomenal job out there globally, but you're going to see a lot more trends like these coming out of Asia.